For the past 3 months someone at my job has been consistently stealing my food that I bring from home so I don't have to use the snack machine or walk across the street to McDonald's like the majority of my coworkers do. In the first month, I noticed someone had been gradually taking some of my food. 1 out of 3 slices of pizza gone, 20% of my soup gone, Cheetos bag completely gone, etc. Didn't think much of it and simply decided to now attach a please don't touch paper sign on my stuff. In the second month, at start of the month, my food became untouched but progressively went back to the usual. At the beginning of the third month I asked coworkers if they had taken or knew who was taking my food and no one had a clue, which is kinda believable as most of us take our lunches separately. I decided to eat McDonald's or go to 7-Eleven and stop bringing food, but then it started fucking with my financial stability. 10 days a paycheck, 14-day paycheck, consistently buying food? I decided to take matters into my own hands. Last week my friend told me about an Instagram reel that she saw where a girl put laxative into her own food to see who was the culprit, and that's exactly what I did today. What I wasn't expecting was for the girl, late 20s, to have an allergic reaction to an ingredient and ended up going to the hospital. After work all of us went to visit her in the hospital where we all talked about what happened and admitting to putting laxative into my own food. 6/8 coworkers, all girls, were disgusted by my actions and were on her side. One girl was whatever about it and the last guy said she shouldn't have been touching my food to begin with. I told the girl that I hope she gets better and went home, but I didn't apologize for what I did and I'm not going to. Today, day off, I received a phone call from our Supervisor, who I spoke to about my issue between after the first month and told me she can't help me there because she's not our mom, and essentially told me I had to apologize to her or else I wouldn't be able to come back to work until I do. And I'm assuming if I take too many days I'd just be fired for not coming to work. Update 1. It was pretty late last night, 4 a.m., and was talking to family members to see what my options are. Whether I should apologize and stay at my job or leave, but fuck that. I'm not apologizing. And here's a little more info about my work to give more insight. I work at a senior facility where I work as a medicine technician. My coworkers are nurses, caretakers and front desk. The girl who stole my food is front desk. We have an obsolete no food or drinks rule outside the break room that's pretty small. We can't use the kitchen to store our food due to fear of cross-contamination. I sorta have a desk to put my stuff, but like I said, there's a rule and the HR/SV is pretty strict on that. The SV called me about an hour ago telling me she's with the girl in the hospital and now's my time to apologize or I can come in person to do it, and I said absolutely not. She kept insisting, but in a tone where I was 100% at fault, not her, who has been stealing my food for 2.5 months straight. Update 2. Have been reading more comments with a lot of questions, so I'll answer them here so everyone can see. 1. She's not poor. She drives a 2020, at least, Lexus SUV Lamau 2. My supervisor is HR. Our other manager works from home and only comes once or twice a week to meet with the elderly's families. Yes, I could have spoken to him, but knowing him, as he's not around much, would tell me to reach out to the HR lady as she's in a higher position than him. 3. I live in South California but not LA. 4. Doctors said the allergic reaction might have been the laxative or my food, which was chicken noodle soup that I made from scratch at home the morning of. There, still running tests. 5. She didn't go to the hospital because she was shitting herself senseless from the laxative. She went because she complained of a huge stomachache and a rash line from below her belly button to between her 2 rib cages. 6. Shifts between employees and sometimes managers always align for those saying how we could all go to the hospital. You either work 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. or 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Someone from home office, HQ, is being sent down tomorrow morning to figure out what's going on as our HR has a huge shit stain on her hands. Doctors are running tests for the second girl and trying to figure out why 2 coworkers are having the same issues. They've, HR, doctors and male coworker, now ruled out my soup as the cause of all this. Update 3. Just answering some more questions about this whole situation. 1. I contacted a family lawyer this morning, but he's currently out of town until Monday morning, so I'll be speaking to him soon. I told him the gist of what's happening, including being sued for unknown reasons until I'm served my papers. 2. Both girls are fine. Light diarrhea and the rash seems to be going away after giving them Benadryl, Pepto and vitamins through and 4. Some people think they're on their deathbeds, although it's quite the opposite. Lol. 3. From what my male coworker has told me, I wasn't the only victim of getting their food stolen by this girl. The only difference is, I'm the only one calling her out on it. Finished my meeting with my supervisors and coworkers. The HR lady is now under investigation and has been put under temporary leave. The first girl will be fired by the end of the day, although I'm still being supposedly sued and we're still trying to figure out how they got sick. We're trying to talk to second girl on what could have happened, but she doesn't want to say anything. Not long after, the first girl's husband was sent to the hospital and quarantined for the same symptoms as the other 2. The doctors are 90% sure that whatever is causing this is transferable by bodily fluids. It makes sense for the husband to be sick in this case, but we have no idea how the second girl is sick. All 3 are now under quarantine. HR has been fired. First girl has been fired. HR lady is going to sue the company for psychological trauma and distress according to my coworkers. Lol update 4. Number 15. I'm currently at work for the time being and the home office rep is in charge. For those dumb enough to ask and question how we know all this, the doctors are keeping me and the home office rep informed as I'm still considered the starting root cause of all this. On top of that, the first girl is still gossiping to my coworkers. Do phones not exist now? Lol side note, I have yet to be served any papers. I've never been sued before, so I'm not sure how long this takes or if the girl has even started the process. HR only gave me a heads up yesterday that she's going to, not that she already has. Update 5. Alright, this has been a long 2 days for me and this might be the last update, at least for now, until this whole thing blows over. I've been trying to make sense of everything that has happened lately, but now I don't know where to begin, so I'll try my best. As I said earlier, the HR lady was being investigated and during the investigation they found out she had the same symptoms 3 weeks ago and quietly checked herself into a hospital but is now almost fully recovered. I don't think she quarantined as she hasn't missed work since her last vacation earlier this year. Apart from that, she also confessed to having sexual relationships with both girls in the hospital for the past 2 months and both girls having no idea of the other's sexual relation with HR. The home office rep believes the husband got sick via the wife as he's never stepped foot into the facility and has never met any of his wife's co-workers or supervisor. The HR lady has been arrested for knowingly spreading an infectious disease without the knowledge of the other person, twice. The hospital will be contacted by the company to inform them of this incident and see what medication/treatment she was given as HR goes to a fancier hospital and what they're dealing with. HR has possibly dropped legal action unless they were empty threats from the beginning. Monday morning I'll be talking to my lawyer to sue the wife and rest of the 6 women for emotional distress and lying, as it seems none of this was my fault to begin with and I'm still not going to apologize for anything. I've been standing my ground since day one. I think I'll do one more update once everyone is cleared from the hospital and everything is back to normal. Update 6. Number 17, finale update. Unfortunately, someone that knows me or what's going on at the company that I work for finally saw my post and sent it to home office, resulting in them firing me as California is an at-will employee state. After talking things over with my lawyer and the company themselves, I could have sued them and the girls for all the chaos that transpired and they would have countersued. Basically, their reputation, as I haven't revealed the employer, versus me being in debt as I don't have the funds to go against an entire company or the time, so I decided to let it go. I was going to start looking for a new job anyways once this shit show, literally, was over. As for everyone else, both girls and the husband have now been released from the hospital but are advised to stay home. The infection was found out to be viral gastroenteritis, stomach flu, or something very close it, which would explain the stomach aches, diarrhea, fever and it being highly contagious, but not the rash and why it took so long for them to get sick. The HR lady was never arrested as I originally assumed, but was questioned and at some point called the wife to tell her that she confessed everything, including that she was seeing the second girl behind her back, but she loved her, the wife, and wanted to be with her. The wife told her it was over and that she's with her husband as the husband was right next to her at the time of the call. Unfortunately for her, the husband is going forward with the divorce and in the meantime, has kicked out the wife from their home. The wife had a huge nervous breakdown, started throwing shit around the house and admitted to not only having a sexual relationship with HR, but the second girl from the hospital without HR's or anybody's knowledge for the past year. Which is hard to believe and she might just be saying shit to get the last laugh. Nevertheless, the wife is now staying with a relative an hour away to figure things out and calm down. The husband, myself and the male ex-coworker are currently at the husband's house helping clean the mess she made. Packing up the wife's belongings and sharing each other's side of the stories as we might all be sick already anyways. We've been here for the past 10 hours laughing our asses off and drinking margaritas. I showed them my Reddit post as it doesn't matter anymore now that I'm fired. Come to find out, the husband's a pretty chill guy, unlike his crazy soon-to-be ex-wife. He offered me his place to stay for free if I have a hard time finding a decent job and lent me the Lexus his wife was using as I've been taking Uber for a while after my car broke down a year ago and haven't been able to save up from how expensive Uber is. This is why I was packing my lunches. I'm going to start looking for a new job tomorrow and hopefully put this whole mess behind me. This weekend me and the boys are planning to get drinks and watch some football at our local sports bars if we're all in good health. Thank you to all those who supported me and rode this wild, batshit crazy, roller coaster with me. Now on to second story. Brother-in-law's infidelity shattered my marriage, leaving my wife to vanish, and my sister-in-law seeking refuge in our home. I have been married to my wife for 3 years. I am 27 and she is 26. My Sil is 30 and my Pos Bill is 31. I always had a close relationship with my Sil. We are friends, also has a decent connection between my Bill, not that close but we often talk and get along. My wife and her sister didn't get along as much as you would expect from siblings. It wasn't just normal siblings rivalry but constant fights and arguments. Anyway, 3 weeks ago when I was having dinner with my friends, I saw my Bill with another woman. They were just eating. I didn't think much of it. I wanted to go and greet him but I kept talking to my friends. After a while I saw that he gave a light kiss to this woman. I was so shocked shocked I decided to not confront him, and when I got back to my home I told my wife everything. I told her that her sister is getting cheated on and we need to tell her. My wife said we should talk to my Bill instead of telling her sister, and we should not break their marriage because her sister is pregnant. I was like, WTF? So what if she's pregnant? Her husband is a cheat. I tried to convince my wife multiple times that we should tell her sister the truth. I told her that I know you guys don't get along, but she's still your sister and this isn't right, but she asked me to stay out of it. I tried my best to convince my wife, but she either ignored me or said we shouldn't break their marriage. I had enough of her, and yesterday I told her that I am coming clean to my Sil. She and I have a great bond and I can't and won't betray her. My wife said if I tell her the truth she will not talk to me. I replied, I won't talk to you either if you don't want to do what's right. Today I told my Sil the truth. I went to her place and told her everything. She was doubtful and she asked me to leave. After a few hours my Sil called me and she was crying and said what I said was the truth and she shouldn't have doubted me and kicked me. She said she's leaving. I asked her, where would you go? Do you have money? She said she does, but not that much. I wired her a bit and sigh. She should call me if she needs help, and she thanked me and said she will only use the money I sent if it's necessary, otherwise she will return my bill. Called my wife and well, my wife lashed onto me and said I ruined her family and her sister's life. I said I thought the moment we got married your family is mine and my family is yours. Anyway, YTF are you defending that pos so much? What about your sister? She didn't reply to me and she's not talking to me either. I tried to talk to her and convince her that it was the right thing to do, but she wouldn't talk to me, so I said fine, stay angry, and if you want to divorce me then go ahead. I think I have nuked my marriage. Do not know if what I did was truly right. It's been a few days since I told my wife's sister that her husband is a cheat. Just to clarify to all the Warritos, no, I am not in love with my Sil. I don't have any inappropriate relations/feelings for her. I respect her and she's family. In any case, yesterday I asked my wife why she is pissed and wanted me to not reveal the truth to her sister. I know you guys hate each other, but you guys are siblings. My wife said it's not our place to interfere. I asked, are you okay with her sister being cheated on? She said she isn't, but it will and has ruined their marriage because of my stupidity. She's pregnant and the child needs his father, and so does the wife. I was so shocked when she said this, like WTF? I asked her, if I were to cheat on you would you forgive me? She said yes. I also asked her if she ever cheats on me would she hide it from me. She also said yes to that. I was so shocked. I asked her if she knows what she's saying. She said yes and she's confident. Just because you had sex with someone else doesn't mean everyone else has to suffer and break the family. I had no words to say. I told her that I also sent my Sil money. She started screaming at me and said I shouldn't have helped her despite knowing she doesn't like her sister. I said if that's what she thinks then it's better if we just divorce. She got angry and screamed fine and started packing her bag. I tried my best to stop her from leaving. I told her that I love her and I just did what I felt right. Nobody has to suffer betrayal like this. She said it wasn't the right time. I asked her, so when should we tell her the truth? After she gives birth? Because it will worsen her PPD, or years after she gives birth? She will just blame us. She said we should have just kept quiet and left it alone. I tried so hard to stop her, but she didn't listen to me and left. I tried to contact her and her parents, her friends, but they don't know where she is and instead started interrogating me and saying I am her husband and I should have taken care of her and I should know where she is. I even visited my Bill to confirm my suspicions, but I didn't see her car or her belongings anywhere. I hate that I am being blamed for just revealing the truth and my wife leaving me right away without a second thought. I was so damn pissed, so today I called my Sil and told her that she can stay at my place cause I'm going to my parents and my wife left and nobody knows where she is. She told me she will try talking to her parents, but after a while she called me and said that their parents don't know where she is. I told her to think about herself and come over and stay here instead of blowing up her money. Now I'm at my parents and my Sil is in our home. Maybe I was being petty, but I hate that my wife gave up on me and left without a second thought. I don't know whether she's cheating or cheated or she would truly cheat on me and her own blood sister with a family relative over feuds. One thing is for sure though, I cannot trust my wife anymore. She hurt me. Update 1. She's family, and if families don't look out for each other and help, then who else will? Strangers? And it's not just some harmless/small lie from my Bill, it's life-changing. My Sil isn't just my Sil, she's my friend. If I didn't tell her the truth now, then my pos Bill would have just kept cheating and I would lose a friend if I delayed. Anyway, coming back to update, my Sil only stayed at my place for 2 days. After then she called me and said she can't trouble me anymore and she's going to live in hotel. I tried to convince her to not blow up her money unnecessarily, but she didn't listen and left anyway. And yes, I am divorcing my wife. After a week of NC, she called me and said she wants to reconcile. She said she was angry that I didn't listen to her and went behind her back. She said she didn't want to break her sister's family, so she wanted to hide it and convince my Bill to not cheat, but I fucked it all up and she's coming back. I just asked her to come back cause I wanted to talk to her and it's not something you discuss over calls. Once my wife arrived and started to explain herself, I told her I am filling. She was pretty shocked. She said we can make it work. I told her we can't. I don't trust you after everything you said and you just left me with no contact and you show up suddenly while I was worried all day about where my wife is or is she safe, etc. I can't make it work. She tried convincing me to not divorce, but I had already made my intentions clear. I told her that her sister stayed at our place for 2 days and she got angry and said fine, let's divorce, and left. I told my Sil that I am getting a divorce. She wasn't happy about it, but she didn't try to convince me in or out of it. I told her that she can stay with me instead of hotel. She said it's inappropriate. I just said either you blow up your money and struggle or she can accept my help. So my sil and I have been living together for past couple of days and we discussed about our spouses and their behavior. We both got pretty angry about this all. My sil got even more angry than I was and she ended up calling my wife and called her names and she told me she's hellbent onto ruining my bill. She is divorcing him and will go new clear on him and ask for as much money as alimony and child support. She wants to drain him. My wife and I didn't talk to each other after she left and we both know that we are divorcing. My sil though angry, she calmed down cause it's unhealthy for her and her baby and she started focusing on career and read stories about single moms. She's preparing herself, so yeah, that's all. And weirdos stay away. Neither my sil nor I have any feelings between each other. I am just helping her and she wasn't feeling good about it, that's why she was hesitating so much. Call me a moral police, but I know I did the right thing not just for my sil but for me as well. I now know what kind of woman my wife is. Sounds like your wife supports cheaters and that should be worrying to you. NTA. I thought about it and I am concerned about it, but I somewhat think she just asked me to not tell her because my sil is pregnant and it will cause her more stress. That's just what I think, but the truth is, if I hide it and support my wife I am in the wrong. If I tell her the truth after she gives birth then still I am wrong. If I hide it forever then I am still wrong. Like what am I supposed to do? Cover up for the betrayer and not help my family? Even my wife is angry at me and probably will lose her if I already haven't lost her. NTA. If I were you, I would sleep with one eye open. Your wife has no moral standards. I truly have been thinking about this, that she might just be. But I love and trust my wife and I was thinking she wanted me to not tell her because my sil is pregnant and women knows how stressful pregnancy and after pregnancy is and she might have thought that she needs support from her husband. Nothing here makes sense to me. There was nothing for me to suspect of her cheating on me. I'm surprised your wife wouldn't tell her sister. So am I. What I think is that no matter how strained both sisters' relationship is, at least a sibling would have the back of their sibling, especially when they are pregnant, but she didn't even try to help her sister and angry at me. I am like, WTF? Is this really the woman I got married to? Uda. You went behind her back, dude. She specifically asked you not to. I get you wanted to help, 100%. But you just ignored her and broke her trust. Yes, you're right to feel upset and mad she left, but your actions led to this. You could have been more respectful and handled it better. Yes, I did. I went behind her back. I tried so hard to not to. But she is covering up for a cheater and she wouldn't even spare her own sister. I love my wife and I mean it, but that doesn't mean I will give up on my own morals and my self-worth just to please the woman I love. I consider my wife's family as my own. Why does she try to stop me though? Why am I the bad guy in her eyes? Is it just as easy to say none of our business and forget about everything else? I'm so sorry you're having to go through with this. NTA, but please get support from whomever you can, and continue providing support to your sil. Wishing you the best going forward. Thanks. I got my parents' support, but they won't pick sides. After all, we both are their children and we are fighting, which is understandable. My mom calls me every day at least thrice to check up on me. Me and my sil support each other and talk a lot. I am in pain, but her pain is unimaginable. She's pregnant and found out her baby's father is a cheat, also low on money and ashamed to seek help. Guess she's no longer my sil but my friend.